All right, so last week we worked on, if you're here last week, we worked on attention and leave it and take it with your dogs. So give them a report card. How did we do on attention? Did we understand it? Did I explain it well enough? Did you guys get any success with your dog? I know you weren't here last week. If you guys were here, how did we do?
Partial success on the good on the take it and leave it, but on the attention, she was on and off.
A little difficult. Okay. Okay. How do you do?
Pretty good.
Pretty about the same. Okay.
Still working on all of it.
Still working on all of it. Well, I'm going to keep telling you guys each week. You're not really here to train your dog. You're here to learn to train your dog on a regular basis. Training happens over weeks and months, and it's going to take a little while. So, with that, you guys got some success. I want to make sure that you guys understood the exercise well enough to continue it. Okay. So, leave it and take it. You guys all pretty good on that? I think you guys did pretty good last week. Do we need to go over it all? So afterwards, I'll kind of talk to what you missed, okay? All right, so tonight we are going to work on 3 different things. We're going to actually start working with a little bit of the recall. We kind of touched base on that last week a little bit. And then we are going to work on teaching your dog not to jump up on you. And we're also going to teach, we're going to work on stay. If we have time, we might have to carry that over to next week's lesson. So let's talk about the recall. I think we kind of talked about this last week. Most of the time, we screw our own dogs up by asking them to come to us when either 1, they're not ready, or 2, they're too distracted, or 3, they don't even know what really come is. A lot of times when we have puppies, if you ever had your dog since a puppy, puppies are great. When they're first probably 2 or 3 months of their life, they'll follow us around everywhere. We're their whole lives. And we never really have to worry about come. You can just say the dog's name, and the dog runs to you. And then if you just say come, the dog runs to you anyways. But then about 3 to 4 to 6 months, now the dog starts getting a brain and says, wait a minute, there's other options. I don't really have to come to you. So the problem is, the most of the time when this happens, we keep trying to call the dog, and every time we try to call the dog and the dog doesn't come, guess what happens? Yep, we're almost training the dog, untraining the dog faster than we can train them. So one of the things I always tell people, ask yourself before you call your dog at this stage, what's the chance of them coming to you? If the chance of them coming to you is not very good when you say come, don't use the word come. So I'll give you an example. My puppy got out of the house yesterday. My door is not shutting correctly in my house, and the wind blew my door open. Puppy says, hey, there's neighbors outside, ran to the neighbors. Now, inside of my house, I tell the dog to come. He comes all day long. Outside my dog's house, I get the bird. And I guarantee you my dog hears me. It's not that I can yell as loud as I want. It's not going to make any difference. I can get as mad as I want. It's not going to make any difference. The dog does hear me, but the dog says, hey, I'm distracted. There's more valuable things outside of my house. So one of the things I always tell people is before you call your dog, ask yourself, what's the chance of your dog coming to you in that situation? So instead of saying come, basically I just use puppy, puppy, puppy. I grab some food. Now, if the dog did not come to puppy, am I teaching him a bad habit? Think about that. If he doesn't come to the word puppy, am I teaching him anything bad? Not really, because that's why I use puppy instead of come. Because if I use come and he doesn't come, then I'm teaching him that come is a choice that he can make on his own. If I use puppy and he doesn't come to puppy, I don't really care, because puppy is not a command that we use. Does that make sense? Okay. So let's talk about the fundamentals of teaching your dog to come to you. If we have a rubber band and we stretch the rubber band, besides break, what does the rubber band want to do? It wants to snap back to its original form. Okay? So we want to teach the recall much the same way. We want to teach the dog that the moment they hear the word come, you want to come running. We don't want to teach the dog to meander to us. We want to teach the dog correct muscle memory. Anybody ever here take dancing or karate? Just one person. Wow. Well, my brother teaches karate, so if you guys ever need karate lessons, let me know. But so, as this young man knows, in karate, it's really about muscle memory. Anybody can punch, but it's really teaching the correct punch with the correct muscle memory. And through muscle memory, you get power. Okay? the dog is much the same way. We want to teach the dog that muscle memory in the come means you run to us, not meander to us, okay? So I'm going to use my friend Christina here for a minute. Okay, so I'm going to show you what not to do. Christina's going to stand over here. Clemency here. Okay, so I'm Christina's dog. Okay, Christina took me to a park, and she just let me go free, okay? And I'm running around, I say, hey, there's a dog over here, okay? Christina calls me, and I come to her, but, hey, how you doing? Hey, check you out. Oh, hey, oh, okay, fine, I'll come to you. Okay, now, that was okay, right? But what happens if I'm over here and she says, come? Not today. And she says, come again. Oh, hey, how you doing? Check it out. Hey, how you doing? Okay. No, not really. Okay, so I know I'm being a smartass here, but what is she teaching me by doing that? Every time she calls me, what am I learning? Oh, finally I come to you and I have the choice. Okay, we don't want to make it a choice to the dog. This is something that we want to build a muscle memory that come means I run to her right away. Okay, so thank you. You did really good. So in the beginning steps, don't use the word come. Use puppy. I don't care what you use. Pickles, whatever you want to use. But try. That's a really good question. I'll answer that.
I was wondering, when can you use come?
That is really good. So we're gonna get there. Can you shut the door, please? That's a really good question too. So let's address both of them. I'm gonna use for my friend Christina here again. So sometimes we have to apply a little bit of science to dog training. Okay, so I'm Christina's dog, okay? And she calls me, I come to her, okay? She does this 10 times. Out of 10 times, 7 times I come to her, but 3 times I kind of meander around a little bit and I finally come to her. But 7 times out of the 10, I come to her the way she wants. At that point, it's time to start using the word come. Once the dog has established the behavior that we want. It's not going to do it every time. It's an animal. I wish my dog was consistent all the time, but it's not. This is why I spent my whole life trying to train my dogs, because it's not consistent. They're animals. So if the dog is able to come to you the correct way, the way you want, at least 10 times, or at least 7 times, 8 times out of 10 with puppy, 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 at that point, it's time to start adding a command to it.
Okay, so let me ask you another question.
Sure, thank you,
He's
Christina.
really good at coming to me in the house. No problems in the house.
Yes,
It's when we're outside.
exactly.
is
So
where the issue is.
outside, there's more distractions. There's more. So
If I do this with him inside, I'm always going to get him to come to me.
Okay.
It's just when I go outside, it's like, forget it.
So we have to merge the two. We have to take the same behavior that we do inside, outside, because my goal is for you to be able to take your dog to the park, take the leash off, and the dog come to you. Okay. However, how long has he been not coming to you outside the house? And how long have you had him?
About 2.5 months.
Okay. So for 2.5 months, this dog has been taught 2 + 2 = 16, not 4. So now all of a sudden, now she's going to have to change the brain, which is going to be very difficult. Okay. So I'm gonna finish addressing that in a minute. So let's talk about the name for a minute. So I'm not a big fan of using the dog's name unless I guess 1, you have to, or 2, you have 2 dogs. Okay, so a lot of people say, well, wait a minute, I should use my dog's name so that my dog knows that I am talking to them. Okay, Christina and I are really good friends. I have never said, Christina, come. Sit. Down. Okay, if I said it like that, what would she automatically be thinking? Like, holy crap, what did I do wrong? And I should make him some brownies. Okay, you don't have to make him brownies. But the idea is we don't talk to each other like we talk to our dogs. Maybe you do, but I don't. When I tell my dog to do something, it's come, sit, down. Okay? When I ask a buddy of mine, hey, would you come over here, please? Obviously, that's not a command. So that's how the dog knows the difference between when we're talking to them and giving them a command. Plus, what really comes in difficulty is, let's say you're working on, like we're going to work on stay today, and your dog is staying really well, and every time you call your dog, you say, Mickey, come, Mickey, come, Mickey, come. Okay? Now the dog has associated Mickey with come. So then the dog's in a down, and you say, Mickey, good girl. And the dog jumps up. And then you're mad at the dog. Well, inadvertently, you've taught the dog that Mickey coincides with come, so the dog is not stupid. They start realizing that, oh, hey, Dad must mean I want him to come. So that's why you should not use their name. Okay? So we're going to address your other question as we kind of go along a little bit. So my friend here, Christina, has a long line. This is one of the ways to start merging what we do inside the house with outside the house. So this is basically a 15-foot leash. You can buy them from any pet store. However, the trick to this is if you want to save a couple bucks, go to a horse and tack place. If you go to the horse blanket in Center Point, let them know I sent you. Maybe they'll give you a deal. If you go get a lunch line for horses, they're 12 bucks. If you get a long line for dogs, they're like $35. So it's crazy. Most of the time because they're probably made in Korea, and the ones locally are made by a local guy. So the reason why I personally like to use the long line over most anything else is because I want to make sure that I have control. Remember the dog that gets out of the house and learns that, oh, hey, you have no control over me, then the dog makes choices. If we use a long line, then we can work from a distance, the dog can be away from us, and the dog now has consistency with being away from us and coming to us. The other idea is take your dog to a tennis court net. Not net, but tennis courts where it's a small fenced-in area where you can lock the gates. There's not a whole lot of distraction. Other dogs can't get in. You can work on your recall in there. It's another controlled environment. The controlled environment is really important here because, one, if you take the dog to a park and do this and the dog sees another dog and takes off after a dog, what are you teaching the dog it can do? Take off after other dogs when it sees you, and not when it sees other dogs and not come to you. The other reason why I like the enclosed area, it's not a huge area. If I take my dog to a big area, even though it's fenced, but it's acres and acres, and my dog's a half an acre away, I know most likely at this point he's not going to come to me. But if I'm in an area that's, let's say, 300 square feet or 400 square feet, I know that there's a better chance of having the dog consistently come to me in a smaller area. Okay, so does that kind of answer your question a little bit? You have to stop putting him in failing situations. Now, I understand he's also running out the door, and that's something you're working on. So it's basically to kind of reverberate. One of the reasons why you should hear anytime the door is open, the dog rushes out the door. So kind of what I explained to her last week, it's not really a recall issue. I mean, yes, she has two issues. The recall issue is kind of compounding the other issue. The other issue is the dog is just running out the door and getting free. Now, once the dog gets out the door, now the dog's not coming. So she first needs to work on the dog not running out the door, and then the secondary issue is coming. However, if she gets a good recall, technically she'll be able to leave the door open, and if the dog starts to go out the door, she should be able to call the dog back. However, it is two different things that you do need to work on. Okay? So, there's two different ways. I mean, there's all different ways we can teach the recall. I'm going to show you two different ways we do it. So, I need a volunteer. Actually, can I just use you? Is that okay? Okay. So what we're going to do here, we're going to kind of go back to this rubber band philosophy. I'm going to make a little change here. Do me a favor. Can I move you?
Sure.
Okay. I'm going to put you right over here between these two walls right here. So in a minute, your dogs are probably going to get a little excited, which is okay, but I don't want them to get excited for each other. So when you do this, you might feed them a little bit just to make sure that they are not getting too excited for each other. Okay, Dad, here, come over here, please. Okay, so remember this rubber band philosophy that I came up with, that I didn't come up with, that I started off with? What we're going to have to do is, Christina's going to take this long line, and we're going to put it on the dog's harness. Okay. What Christina's going to do is Christina's going to hold the dog for a minute. Dad is going to take out a little handful of food. You can do it. Okay. Why don't you put your leash and the bag of food down so you have your hands free? But take out a good handful. Okay, so why do we have the long line on the dog? Well, I don't want to put the dog in a failing situation. Yes, we're in a controlled building here, but what happens if the dogs go to Dad and says, ooh, I want to go see that dog, okay? No, I don't want the dog to go to see other dogs. However, I also don't want the dog to go anywhere else besides Dad, okay? So what Dad's going to do is Dad's going to come up and show the dog some food. Okay? And Dad's going to run away as he's going to say, puppy, 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 puppy. Okay, come back. I know you're big and manly, but you got to be goofy sometimes, okay? I want his dog to be excited because the more exuberant his dog is, the faster his dog is going to come, right? Okay, run back, say puppy, puppy, puppy. That's good. And let him go. Good job. Now, that wasn't very fast, was it? I think we can get a little bit quicker than that, okay? She's going to pull the dog back again. Okay, Dad, come up, show him the food. Show her the food. Good. I want you to clap a little bit. Run back and say, puppy, puppy, puppy. And let her go. Good job. Now, watch what Dad's going to do. Dad's going to hold the dog. Okay, keep the long line in your hand. Okay, can you hand her some food? You stay back there. Okay, show her the food. Okay, now what she's going to do is she's going to run back and say, puppy, puppy, puppy. And good job. And feed her. Good. Now she's going to hold on the leash. Okay. Okay, Dad. Show her the food. Run a little further back this time. And let her go. Oh. Now what did we notice that time? Now we're getting a little speed. Now, this is why we're not using come. Because the first 2 times he did it, the dog came slowly, right? That time the dog came quicker. I think we can get a little more speed out of her. Let's try it again. I know it smells good.
Lucy.
Okay, hold on to her. Okay, run back. Go a little further, go a little further, go a little further. Further. And let her go. Good. Okay, Dad, grab her harness. Good. Stay there. Dad, stay there. Come and grab some hot. Do you have some?
I have it.
Okay.
Collar?
Yep. Run back. Say puppy, puppy, puppy. And let her go. Good job. Come and grab her leash. There you go. Okay, that's good. Go take her back. Change out leashes. Okay, so this concept kind of makes sense here. Basically what we're doing is we're stretching that rubber band. So he's holding, or she's holding the dog. Okay? He's running back and say, puppy, 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 puppy. The dog really, really wants to get to him. The moment he gets back here, she lets the dog go. The dog beelines it to him. He feeds the dog. So now what's the dog learning is, oh man, the moment I get freedom, I run to you. Okay? So if he does this game enough, or any of you guys do this game enough, the moment your dog rushes out of your house and you run away and say, puppy, 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 what's the dog going to think you're doing? Playing this game again. The dog's going to say, oh man, I remember this game. Because the flip side of that is this. I know you sat down. Can I use it again? Okay, so I'm going to do a little role playing. I know it's going to be funny, but it'll make a whole lot more sense. Nope. I'm Christina's dog. She should stay there. She took me to the park. She let me go. And I am sniffing around over here, and she calls me. I don't come to her. I don't come to her. Now she's getting upset, right? Now what does she start doing? Now she wants to come grab me out of anger. Now what do? Oh crap, I don't want to get caught, right? So now what does it turn into? Oh, please don't catch me. Please don't catch me. Please don't catch me, okay? Now she catches me. What does she do? She gets mad at me and she spanks me. She hits me. Now, the moment she did that, what did I just learn there, too? Yeah, I don't want to ever get caught. Because if I get caught, what's going to happen? I'm going to get disciplined. So what happens is the more anger we get at, or the more upset we get for the dog not coming to us, and the more we run at him, guess what the dog does? There's no way I'm going to get caught, and I'm going to run from you. So at this point, while you guys are teaching the recall, if your dog gets away from you, I know it's hard, try not to run after the dog. If you do happen to catch the dog, don't punish the dog. Don't get upset at it. Just kindly grab the dog, bring it back inside, go outside and punch a tree or something, okay? Hey, stop. Don't let her focus on the other dog, please. Thank you. Don't get upset try not to get upset. What you do is you get upset at yourself for allowing the dog it to happen. Okay? So let's do this. Do you want to try this with your dog?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do this with your dog. We'll do this with one more dog, and then we're gonna move forward. Okay, can you hand her some food so she can make friends? Wait, hold on before we put the other leash on.
Oh, okay, hold on.
Because you may be a little bit nervous about her. So she's not going to come to her, but she can hold her. Okay, let's go. Hand her, Mom the long line, Christina, please. Mom, why don't you put that on her?
Oh, okay. Trust me.
Okay. Okay, she's going to hold her here. I want you to show her the food. Okay, I want you to run away, say puppy, puppy, puppy.
Puppy, 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 puppy.
And let her go. Good job. Good. Okay, walk her back, Mom.
I don't want to yank.
Yep. Go ahead. Okay, ready? Let's do it again. Run away, say puppy, puppy, puppy.
Puppy, 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 puppy.
And let her go.
Puppy, puppy.
Good. All right, we'll do it one more time.
Okay. Puppy, 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 puppy.
Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going.
Puppy, puppy, puppy.
And let her go.
Come on. Puppy, puppy, puppy.
Good job. All right, you did good. Good job. Now, obviously, the dog did it here for two main reasons. One, she's got food. Obviously, the dog can see the food. And two, the dog's a little bit worried about my friend here. So it's like, hey, I want to get away from this lady, and I'll gladly go back to you. However, I guarantee you the dog, when it's at home in a neutral environment, it's probably not going to offer the same behavior that it's offering here. So she needs to try to get a long line and set the dog up. In other words, open the door, work on the recall with the long line. Also, the more games you can play, the better. So, speaking of games, I'm going to show you a way to do this by yourself. Can I use you? Okay, come on out. So let's say you want to train by yourself, but you don't have anybody else to hold your dog for you. Can you hand him that long line? So we're still going to put the dog on a long line because he's not inside of his house. He said he wants to take his dog to outside of his front door or a park and work on this. Okay. So what he's going to do in a moment, he's going to take a little handful of food. He's going to drop a couple pieces of food on the ground. And as the dog is eating, he's going to run to the end of the leash. And the whole time he's going back, he's going to say, puppy, puppy, puppy. Okay, stop for a second. I didn't explain it very well. I apologize. Come back. That was my fault. I did not explain it well enough. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to drop 2-3 pieces of food in one pile. Okay? As he's eating it, you're going to go away from him. Don't keep dropping food. Can you hold the leash for him? She's just going to hold the long line for you. Okay? So drop 3 or 4 pieces right there. Okay, now go away from him. Say, puppy, puppy, puppy.
Puppy, 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 puppy.
Good. And feed him when he comes. Oh, there you go. Feed him. Good.
Take it.
Good. Okay, now drop a couple pieces there and go that way. Go back. Okay, go away.
Puppy, 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 puppy.
Good. There you go. Good. So when he gets to you, don't worry about dropping the food. Just hand it to her. Okay, let's try it one more time. Do it.
The dog seems to
Do what?
The dog seems to understand everything.
Puppy, 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 puppy.
Good. Good job. All right. Go ahead, put your leash back on.
Nice job.
Okay, any questions on this? You guys feel confident that you can do it? Okay. So one other thing you guys can do that's really kind of handy, if you guys have houses with multiple rooms, drop food in one part of your house and go hide in another part of your house. You ever do that with your puppies? You ever take them somewhere and they check out and you go hide somewhere? It's one of the first things that her and I do this with our dogs a lot of times. We have this big training field out in Jacksonville, and we'll take our dogs out, and the moment the dog checks out, we go hide somewhere. And you know what happens to the dog? they panic. Oh my gosh, where did dad go? Where'd mom go? Where'd they at? Oh my gosh, they left me. And then they want to come find us. And what it helps with is two different things. One, the dog comes running to us as soon as they see us. And two, the dog starts not checking out and start realizing, hey, I got to pay attention to where mom and dad is. So ask yourself this. If she was worried where you're at, do you think she'd run away from you? If she was worried where you were at, would she run away from you? Probably not, right? So play this little game inside your house or inside your yard. Drop food somewhere, take off to another room, call in the dog, and then go either call it from another dog or hide in another room. The moment the dog gets you, all right, feed the dog. And I almost guarantee you that your dog is, one, going to have a better recall, and two, is not going to let you out of their sight when you take them places. Okay? Any questions on that? Anything? Really? Nothing? I did that well. All right, sweet. Do what?
Play hide and seek.
Play. Well, I wish it's that easy, but yes, that's a good game.
That's 14 years old, and I go to the Scottish Rite and clean it, and I can take him with me, and I don't have to worry about it. He gets out, he's not out more than 3 or 5 minutes, because like you just said, he has to know where I'm at.
Yep.
He comes and finds me. I don't have to worry about where he's at, because he comes and looks for me.
Sometimes this is a temperament issue where if the dog is a little bit softer in their temperament, they're very worried and they don't want to let us out of their sight. Some dogs that are more confident in themselves, like this dog here, dad's a fart in the wind to her. If it takes her to a park, I'm sure she's going to be gone. It's just kind of the breed and kind of her personality. Hold on here 1 second. Dan, watch your dog. Thank you. Thank you. So, let's talk about the jumping up for a moment. What if I told you taught the dog to do this? Would you believe me? If you taught the dog to have a jumping up problem. Okay, don't get off that easy. Somebody tell me why I say that. Unless you already took a class from me. Any ideas?
I didn't do it.
You didn't do it. So let me ask you this.
That's one of his biggest problems. He likes to, especially if he wants to jump up on you. And I heard step on their toes, or you push them down, or something.
So myths. I like this. So there's all different myths on teaching your dog to jump up on you, or not. Sorry, to not jump up on you. Yes, one of the ways is stepping on their toes. One of their ways is kneeing them. Those are two of the compulsion ways. Other way people do is whack the dog over the head. There's all different ways. However, I'm encouraging you not to do those ways because what in a minute this is going to make a whole lot more sense. So I'm going to use my friend Christina here. I'm Christina's cute Labrador Retriever, okay? Who doesn't like labs? Labs are goofy. Labs are cute when they're 8 weeks old. They're big bundles of fat joy, right? Okay, so Christina is an unknown dog trainer that doesn't know any better. And she walks in the door, and I'm her puppy, and I'm 8 weeks old, and I come to her, and I jump on her, okay? And what does she do? And she picks me up, and she coddles me, and she touches me. It only takes once. And next time she walks in the door, oh, wait a minute. Last time you walked in the door and I came and I jumped on you, your hands came down to my level, you pet me, I know what to do, okay? And so it happens.
So you go, no, for the other 100 times.
Well, I'll talk about that in a minute. Thank you. You did really well. So it only takes 3 or 4 months. Now the dog is 4 to 5 months old. Now you're calling me up and saying, wait a minute. Why is my dog doing this, okay? So now let's go back to the kneeing the dog, stepping on the dog's toes. Well, that's unfair. Raise your hand if you have kids at home. Okay, I think everybody has kids. So let's say you have kids and you said to your child, every day when you come home, you can have 5 Oreos. Every day you come home, you can have 5 Oreos. And you walk in the kitchen one day and your kid's eating the Oreos. And you start hitting them over the head with a newspaper. And you punish them. Is that fair? Of course not, right? Because you told them. Okay, the same thing applies to the jumping up. You told the dog that that's fair. You told the dog that that's something you want to do. Now all of a sudden one day, now you're going to go and you're going to punish them for doing something you taught them to do. Okay, and unless you really think about it from that angle, it kind of makes sense. Wait a minute, what am I doing to my dog? So that's why at first I don't I don't recommend people kneeing their dog. I don't recommend stepping on their toes. I don't recommend. In fact, years ago, I used to recommend that. And then I started to apply some science to my training and realized, wait a minute, there is probably easier ways and better ways to do it. Plus, one of the reasons why I'm going to teach you this way is this. Imagine you have kids, and every day your kids brought home homework. You did the homework for the kids. You did their problems for the kids. Would they ever learn how to do their own math problems if you did the problems for them? Okay? So, why should we tell the dog or show the dog what we want them to do? Why not teach them how to do it on their own in order to gain a reward? Why should we do the work for them? Does that make sense? Okay. So, does your dogs jump up on you a lot? Okay.
She hasn't been jumping up on me recently because I just keep going away.
Aha, that's a good thing. So, I'm going to use you guys for a minute. Can I use you? Come on out. Okay, come right over here, guys. Okay, so I'm guessing the dog jumps up on you more than you?
Yeah.
Okay, can you take the dog for me, Dad? Okay. Okay, Mom, do you have food? Okay, Dad, stand right over here this way for me, please. Give us a little more room, thank you. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. We're first going to do a test to see if the dog is going to jump up on her. Because a lot of times I've done this, and the dog never jumped up on the person. So unless the dog does it, I can't help the dog not do it. Because the dog has to show us the behavior that they're doing in order to stop doing it. Okay? So do me a favor. Put your hands behind your back. That's okay. Okay, put your hands and walk right up to her talking to her. Okay, almost jumped up on her. Okay, let's try it again. Hey, can you come sit over here by this really cute dog in the chair? Okay, try it again. Walk up talking to her. Okay, so let's act like the dog just jumped all over her and it's really annoying and Mom's really upset. Okay, walk back.
Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. Because basically you're just telling her that's what you want her to do. Okay, so what Mom's going to do is Mom's going to walk up to the dog, talking to the dog just like she did. Hold on, I'm going to tell you what to do. And then when she gets into that point where the dog's about to jump up on her, or when she thinks the dog could jump up on her, she's going to kneel down and feed the dog. And then she's going to stand up. And then she's going to stand up and walk away again. Okay? So do me a favor, walk up. And feed. Good. Okay, this may not work. We're really distracted now. Okay, go and go sit back down. It's not going to work, guys. She is too focused on the other dogs. Will your dog jump up on my friend here?
Maybe. She does get jumpy, but I've been teaching her lately to not. I completely ignore her.
You guys are way ahead of me.
Just keeps going, and I'm like, nope, sit for your pets, Lucy, sit for your pets, and she'll sit.
You think your dog will jump? I don't think your dog will jump. Will jump up on you?
Yeah.
Okay, let's try it. Come on out. Come this way, come this way. There you go. So, why don't you come hold the door? No, don't worry about it. Sit.
Hey, look at this lady. She's a good lady. Oh, look at my friend. Look at my friend. Say hi.
Here, just hand her the leash. You're gonna be the victim. Dad, put her on the collar, or him on the collar around the neck.
Oh, okay.
Yep. The flat collar. Yep.
Up here.
Hey, come down.
That's fine. It's fine. Yep, it's fine. Okay, Dad, walk away for a minute. Okay, walk right up to the dog with your hands behind your back. Let's see if she jumps up on you.
Hey, how you doing?
All right, good. The dog jumped up on him. Okay.
Hey, come here. Hey, Don, how you doing? Hey, come here.
Okay, hold on. So, do me a favor. Got food?
Yeah.
Okay, walk away. Okay, walk up. When I tell you, I will kneel down and just feed him one piece of food at a time, okay? Okay, walk up and kneel and feed. One piece of food at a time. Okay, no. Walk
Oh,
away.
just one.
Just one, and then stand up and walk away. Okay? Walk up. And kneel. And feed. Good. Keep doing that. So I want you to do that 10 times. So while he's doing this, these guys are really correct in what they're already doing. I heard a trainer once say, and I can't take credit for this, if every time you walk into your house, if you walk to the window and you stand at the window describing everything outside the window for at least 10 minutes, after a month your dog won't jump up on you. And the idea is if your dog gets nothing from jumping up on you, pretty soon the dog's going to learn there's just no success. However, the problem comes in when you have company come over and you have a cute bully like this. I would want the dog to jump up on me, and the moment the dog would, I would probably praise it. So then what's happening? Then the dog's not really learning. Everybody'd have to be. So doing it this way and teaching the dog success is going to be better than just one or two people ignoring the dog. However, it's good that you guys are doing that, because the more people that do ignore the dog, the better it is, okay? Do me a favor, do that one more time, kneeling down. Do what?
We put them in the other room. People are coming to the door. We put them in the other room.
Okay, we'll talk about that in just a minute. Okay, you got food still?
Yeah.
Put your hands behind your back, walk right up to him, talking to him, and just stand right in front of him. Walk right up to him, walk right up to him. And feed him. Good job. Good. Okay, go away. Okay, go away. No, go away. Right away. Okay, have food. Okay, walk up to him and kneel down this time. So now we're going to go back to the kneeling down a couple times. And feed. Good. Do me a favor, do that 2 more times.
Hey, come down. Hey, good boy.
Good, okay. That's good. One more time. Walk right up to him.
Hey, pay attention. Good boy.
Okay. Now, put your hands behind your back. Walk right up to him. Talking to him.
Hey, be a good boy.
Walk right up to him. Come on, Dad. Walk right up to him.
Be a good boy. Good boy. Good boy.
Not too bad. Good job. Good job. So take your leash. So Ashley, I know it's going to seem really weird, but I actually wanted the dog to jump up on him that time. Here's the reason why I wanted the dog to jump up on him. Sometimes failure helps us. Look at the mathematics behind this. If he started off with 10 times walking up to the dog, kneeling down and feeding the dog. So the 11th time, what did the dog expect when he walked up? That he's going to kneel down and feed, okay? So he walked up the 11th time, the dog didn't jump up, we fed the dog. Then he walked away. I had him walk up again without kneeling down. The dog still didn't jump up, so we still need to reward the dog. But if the dog would have jumped up, he would have turned around and walked away, and now what did the dog just realize? Yeah, wait a minute. If I don't jump up on you, there's more reward than jumping up on you. So think about the values. If not jumping up on him is a value of $100, but jumping up on him is a value of $5, what do you think the dog is going to choose? Not jumping up, okay? So we're trying to get your dog to think. That way, when people come over to your house, the dog, when he runs up to somebody, is going to think, wait a minute, if I don't jump up on him, there's a higher value than if I do jump up on him. Does that make sense? So then, we don't have to worry about kneeing the dog. We don't have to worry about telling the dog off. We don't have to worry about all these other things that we would have to do. Now the dog is choosing on their own to say, wait a minute, oh, I want to choose not to jump up. So they learn to jump up and got rewarded for it. Now we're basically just teaching them not to jump up, and they're going to get rewarded for it. Does that make sense? Okay. So no, go ahead.
Question. So she doesn't jump up on me, but I have a dog run that has about a 4-foot fence with some lattice. And as I walk by, she's constantly, jumping up on that, kind of getting the attention as I'm going to other parts of the yard.
Yes.
How do I correct that behavior?
Boy, so that's a little bit of a complex behavior, because here we have a little bit of separation anxiety. The dog wants to get to Dad. It's behind the fence. Dad's on the other side of the fence, so it's kind of hard for Dad to work with the dog when he's on the other side of the fence. So I'll give you an idea, and then we have to move forward. So if I was this young man and I had this problem, I would walk along the fence tossing food over the dog, like behind the dog, tossing food behind the dog, tossing food behind the dog. Okay, now what is the dog learning? Wait a minute, trying to jump up on the fence gets me nothing from Dad, but the moment Dad comes to me, there's going to be food behind me. Now what happens? Now the dog gets muscle memory saying, hey, there's no need to jump on the fence. He's going to be looking behind him. Where's that food at? Where's that food at? Does that make sense? Okay. So if you want to teach your dog to jump off of things, like let's say your dog gets up on the furniture, you teach him to jump on the furniture, then teach him off. But now you're probably thinking, well, wait a minute. Why don't we just teach the dog to jump on us and then jump off us? Yes, you can teach the dog to not jump on you by doing that. However, it's different teaching the dog to jump off of objects than it is jumping off of us. Because how often does objects pet the dog and give the dog gratification? But we as people do, so that's why the dog jumps up on us. So this young man brought up a point. When he has company over, he puts the dog up. That is a good solution. However, I'm sure he'd like to reach a point where he doesn't have to do that. So what he can do is everybody that comes over can be either a good training opportunity or a bad training opportunity. What I mean by a good training opportunity is, let's say his buddy's going to come over and have a beer with him. Okay? He should have his buddy grab some food outside that he placed outside before he comes in the door. And the moment his buddy comes in, start dropping food. Just drop food. Throw food at the dog. Way before the dog even jumps up on him, start dropping food. Okay? Now, next time his buddy comes over, what's his dog going to think? Oh, where's that food at? Instead of looking up at him, thinking, hey, I need to jump up on you, now the dog is being programmed to look at the ground. Okay? So everybody that comes over, if he can do that, then he's going to have a positive experience. If he has a buddy that comes over and he hasn't told his buddy what to do, his buddy walks in the door, the dog jumps on him, and he reaches down and pets the dog, guess what the buddy just did? The buddy actually just set him back weeks. And I have no science behind this, I can't prove it, but I personally think that he's set back for weeks if the dog got success from that. So it's that important. When people come to do what? Yep, because let's say 5 different people drop food, okay, and then his buddy comes over and the dog jumps up on him and his buddy grabs him, pets him, and picks up the dog and coddles him. The dog just says, wait a minute, I can still jump up on other people and get petted. So now it kind of sets him back. It's all about consistency. Just like the come game. If 10 times, if she did 10 recalls with the dog, and 7 times the dog did not come to her, but 3 times the dog did come to her, what muscle memory do you think the dog's really learning? Coming or not coming? Not coming, okay? Jumping up is no different. So when people come to my house, a lot of times I put the dog up too. It's nothing personal. They just don't know what kind of training I'm doing. Or I tell my friends, hey, the dog could jump up on you. If you don't like it, then, I probably have to put the dog up, or, hey, maybe I should be outside my house. I mean, I know it's kind of rude, but...
If the dog jumps on your friend, do you not let him pet the dog?
Nope, I try to have my friends to completely ignore him, okay? However, if the dog is going to hurt my company, then I need to take control of the situation. It's not their responsibility. And people that come to my house, they're not going to want to train my dog. They're not there to train my dog. However, it is a training experience. Every time you ask your dog to do something, it's a training either opportunity or it's a training failure. Every time you ask your dog to do something. So I want to make sure I'm consistent with my dog. There's no gray area with my dogs. Okay? Any questions on that before we move on? Okay, you guys are good. So let's talk about the stay. We got about 5-10 minutes. You guys are going to get a crash course. So I'm going to really confuse you here. I don't believe in the word stay. Stay to me is a redundant command, meaning to me it has no meaning. Okay? What is one of the first things that we covered in the very first class? You guys remember 2 weeks ago?
Every command has a start and a stop.
Oh, I like this guy. Yes. Every command has a beginning and an end. A beginning and an end. If I had candy bars like my kids, I'd throw him a candy bar. Okay? Because his brain is already thinking. Now he's already figured out why I don't like to use the word stay. If I tell my dog to sit, I expect my dog to sit until I tell him what? Free. Or a secondary command, right? So why should I tell my dog to sit and stay? To my dog, stay should be nothing. Should have no meaning. To me, it has no meaning. I don't use the word stay. I don't use the word stay. I don't use any variation of that. The only variation maybe you can say I use is I use a wait command. But the wait command is not for any particular sit, down, stand, or anything like that. A wait command is sometimes I'll put a ball out and the dog really wants to get the ball. I'll just tell him to wait, not to get it. I'm not telling him to stay there. He can move all around he wants. I just don't want him to go after the ball. If I'm opening the door and I just want him to stay inside, I'll just tell him to wait. But it's not really tell him to sit down, stay. I'm not trying to break any command, okay? So if you guys want to use the word stay, you're more than welcome. If it's going to help you guys, then use it. Me personally, I just don't want to use it. Plus, if I have 10 words for the behavior of come, okay? I'm teaching my dog come, but I've used come here, snap my finger, whistle, use the dog's name. If I have 10 different words for the single behavior, it gets kind of confusing on the dog, right? So the less verbiage I can use with my dog, the easier it is for my dog to get new behaviors. Does that make sense? So stay is just one command that I don't have to worry about my dog either breaking or thinking I'm giving them a different command. But if you guys need it to help you guys, then by all means, use it. Okay? Does that make sense so far? Okay, so how do we teach our dogs the stationary? So when I use stationary, basically that I'm meaning stay. But basically, we're going to start with your dog's strongest behavior. Most of us are going to start with sit. If your dog has a better down, then you can do it at a down, but we're going to start with the dog sit. So I'm going to use my friend Christina here. She already knew I was going to do this. Okay, so up to now, if I'm Christina's dog, she's taught me that if I'm with her and I'm excited, I'm going to get fed, right? Because the very first thing we covered is engagement, right? We want the dog to be excited. We want the dog to play with us. Now, Christina's going to move away, and she's going to expect me to stay here, and this is going to be really confusing on your dog. So we're going to start with baby steps. What she's going to do, you guys are going to do this in a minute with your dog. What she's going to do is she's going to ask me to sit.
Sit.
Okay, so I said she's going to feed me for the initial command. Okay, she's fed me for sit. Now what she's going to do is she's going to move 1 foot back and 1 foot forward right away, and she's going to feed me. It's just going to be 1 foot at a time. And she feeds, and then she frees.
Free.
All right, good job, and then we do it again. Okay, now here's why we do 1 foot. Watch the distance. If she moves 1 foot back, now look how, leave it back there. Look at the distance her and I are from each other. Now move 2. Now she's double the distance. So if you move 2 feet back, I almost guarantee you the dog's going to come forward. The idea is the dog learns to be stationary while you move 1 foot back. Okay? Now, once you're able to do this a couple times, then you're ready for 2 feet. Okay? Sit, and she steps back 2 feet, returns to me, and feed and free. Good.
Free.
So a couple things you don't want to do. You don't want to step back. Oh, good boy.
Good boy.
Okay, I did good to come to her. Okay? Or you don't want to be fidgeting with your food as you're coming back, because then the dog's going to be thinking, oh, I did good, I should get fed. Okay? You want to be very plain Jane until you get back to the dog. Once you get back to the dog, and then it's free and feed, or feed free, however you want to do it. Make sense? Okay, let's see you guys try it. So I want you to try at least 1 foot back, 1 foot forward. Let's start with your dog in a sit. Reward them for the sit, and then take 1 foot. If you're able to do 1 foot back, 1 foot forward at least 5 times without them moving, then I want you to try 2 feet. Okay? Make sure you don't reward them until you return all the way to them. Both feet in front of them, all the way to them. You have done this before. Good job. Can you help him? So if your dog gets up, don't feed him on the return. Just start over again.
Okay.
Because by feeding him then for getting up, before you say free, what are you inadvertently teaching him? Yep. Good job. Okay, so same thing. Look, your foot's still back, right? Technically, you haven't returned to the dog. So you're feeding her without returning to her.
Lucy, sit.
Okay, return to her. No, okay, no. There you go. Stand straight for a minute. Okay, put 1 foot back. Now step forward. Now feed. Good. Do that again. Sit. And each time you move, you tell her to sit.
Sit.
Step forward. Good. And now free her and jump back free. Good. So I would try that 1 or 2 more times and then try 2 feet back.
We've got to run. We got a meeting. I'll see you next week.
Okay, thank you so much. You did really good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Not too bad at all. Did you free him? Free her? Good job. Have you guys worked on that before?
Not really. She never told me that one.
She did really good. Good job. Good job. Not too bad at all. Good job.
Okay, you're free.
Free. Good job. Make sure you don't say, okay, you're free. Just say free. Jump back. Because if you say, okay, free so many times, when your husband says, hey, can you make me some brownies? You say, okay, and you're working with your dog, what's she going to do? She's going to jump up. Nicely done.
Good. Lucy, sit.
Good job. Okay, are you freeing him when you turn to her? Him?
Freedom?
Yeah, make sure you free him each time.
Oh, you
Because
got free each time?
each time, well, yeah. How,
Oh, I thought we're still in the process of training.
so if you want to do it 2 or 3 times,
Okay,
then that's
free.
fine. But then
Okay.
free. But if after one time, after you feed him one time,
They do it?
if you think he's going to get up, then free him.
Oh, okay.
Here, let's see you do it. So go ahead and tell him sit.
Set. Set. No. Back up. Come on. Set. Set.
Okay, step back to him. Feed him. Now tell him to sit again.
Up.
No. Just tell him to sit.
Oh, sit.
Even though he's sitting.
Okay.
Okay, so the reason why I want you to retell him to sit, because you're moving away again. So we're kind of reaffirming that you want him to stay there.
Set. Set.
Oh, almost.
Some of me more than him. All right, come here. Come here. All right. Come. Look. Set.
Good, return him. Feed him 1. Okay, tell him to sit again.
Set.
Okay, step back again. Return to him and feed him. Now say free.
Okay, free.
Good job.
Be free. Good
So
job.
you did 2 in a row.
Hey.
Stay afterwards and I'll look at his ear for you, okay? How's he doing? Here, you take
So
the.
I said just for him to practice, like feeding her and set.
That's a good idea too. Can you take the leash for him? Let's try something. Stand behind the dog.
I mean, she won't sit long enough for you to take a step.
Okay, watch this. Okay, so have her sit.
Sit.
Okay, wait. Put a little pressure. No, not back. Up a little bit. Straight up. Just a little bit. Help her out, Dad. Put her in a sit. Bring her hand right in front of her mouth.
Sit.
No, and bring it up over her head. Okay, right there. Now take it 1 little step back. Sit. That's good. Step forward. Oh, really close. So don't bring the food down low when you feed her. Kind of feed her up so she has to reach for it a little bit. Does sit.
Sit.
Help her out. Bring the food up right over her head.
Sit.
Try it again. Bring closer, down to her nose. Help her out and sit.
Sit.
Remember how you taught her to sit? Same thing. Okay, feed her for that. Good. Now wait. It's gonna take a little work. She's really excited.
Yeah.
So have your wife at home kind of hold the kind of what she's doing. She's not forcing the dog. She's just putting a little bit of leash pressure. Okay, which basically kind of helps the dog oh, this is what you want, and they're not so eager to go forward. And then after a couple times, you won't have to worry about that.
Okay.
Okay. Yes.
I know there's videos on your website, and
Uh-huh.
I've watched some of them,
Uh-huh.
but is there specific videos to what, like, you're teaching us, so, like, stuff we forget, like,
Yes.
see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because there are stuff I have forgotten, and it's like, I have a learning disability, so unless I do it over and over and over again, I will lose it.
I totally understand. Everybody's kind of the same way. Don't feel like you're left out. Yes, all my classes usually a videotape, so you can either go to my Facebook. I'd probably go to my Facebook. I post them on there. So tonight's class.
How do I know which ones are what I want to
They're labeled. So, like last week, I labeled it Class 2. So if you look up at the board up there, it'll say what we covered each class, and then you can go to my Facebook and look up the video, and it'll say Class 1, 2, or 3.
For me to download it on my computer?
Yes, but not. I don't have that ability. I don't. There's not a link where you can. You'd have to Google it. There's programs that you can use. You can just do a little Google, and there's a way to do it. Yes. Okay. All right. Let's sit back down when you guys are ready. Okay, so we covered quite a bit tonight. So let's kind of go over what we covered a little bit. We worked on the recall. Okay. Worked on being consistent, not putting your dogs in a situation. Make sure if you have somebody at home that's in charge of the dog, you teach them exactly what you guys did tonight. If they are not on the same page, let's say your wife's home with the dogs all day and you're at work, tell your wife not to use the come command. She can use puppy, whichever she wants right now, but tell her not to use the come command until the dog is consistent. Okay? Teach her exactly what you want to do, or him, whoever's at home, because consistency is the name of the game. Okay, we worked on not jumping up, so make sure that anybody from now on comes to your house, you're consistent with that. Remember, it can be a good training experience or a bad training experience. So make sure you kind of take control of that. And then we worked on stay. So we didn't get through all the stay I wanted to get through. However, work with your dogs this week. If we have extra time next week, we'll kind of go over it. My goal is to be able to get you guys to be able to walk around your dogs, but that takes a little time. First, you need to make sure that you're comfortable with getting at the end of your leash and to your dog, and then once you can do that, then we can start working on walking around your dog, okay? I don't know if I will have time next week to get to that, but we will definitely try. A question came up. I know we cover a lot in my classes. Are you able to watch this on video? Yes, I record all my classes. So if you go to my Facebook page, after a day or two, usually I upload it there. Either that, or you can just email me and say, hey, can you send me last week's class link? And I can send you a link to the class, okay? Do what?
We're on candy camera.
You are candy camera. Okay. Any questions before I let you guys go?
So if you send me a link in an email, then I can handle that.
Yes. Well, you'll have the link. You can't download it, but you have the link. Yes. Okay? All right, you guys did really good. I appreciate you guys being here, and I will see you guys next week. Next week is our last class together. Will be graduation night, and we'll work on healing and walking on a leash. Okay? Watch your dog there, kiddo.